concept a long time ago. Actually, it was the very first thing I did to a harmonica to make it different. I mean, this is real early, long before I ever started making anything for people to buy. And it was back when I was just some guy making stuff for myself and really getting into the mechanics of a harmonica. And I bought these old octave harmonicas on eBay, and I cleaned them up and restored them, and got to thinking, how can I make this into something that I can play second position on, or fifth position, or any kind of thing that requires a lot of drawbends. So that's how I came up with it. I kind of didn't do a whole lot with it for a lot of years, because the ones I were working with were really too high for me. I didn't really like just how high they were. When I figured out that I could do it to the concerto was absolutely a perfect instrument to do this to, specifically because of its tuning, and it's tuned lower than your average octave harmonica. Let's say like a C, for instance. On most of the other octave harmonicas that have been made over the years, your C will be a regular C on one side, and it'll be a high C on the other, and they're meant to be played together. They're not meant to do any of this crazy stuff I'm doing now. They're meant to be played only together. So it could be really high and play great and sound great. With this being so low, it not only gives a really rich mix of sound, but dropping that top reed plate down an octave essentially gives you the same range that you would normally have on a regular blues harp, plus with one octave lower, to accompany yourself whenever you need. So this harmonica is really well suited for this kind of modification like I've made on these. This is my favorite. It's the A Bluesified Concerto, and it's the lowest of the Bluesified Concertos. It the top reed plate starts on A3, just like a normal A harmonica. The bottom reed plate starts on A2, which will be the one blow on a low A harmonica. That's pretty low. Which I really like that. I really like that low sound. It sounds really nice when they're played together. It's really rich chord sound, I think, and I really like playing chords. So I really enjoy that. And when you play the top, I've heard people trying to block it with their bottom lip, which is what you do, or block it with their tongue, or various other ways to do it. What I find is best is to rotate the harmonica. So I'm going to actually play this thing tilted. So when I'm playing the top reed plate, I go like that. But the harmonica is actually tilted in my mouth, and that makes it easier for me to block out that bottom reed plate. And when I play them together, I'll just level the harmonica. And likewise, when I want to play the low reed plate by itself, I'll tilt it the other way. I'll tilt it down. Like that. That's the easiest way, and it's a real quick way while you're playing to just switch back and forth between the two. So you're not actually doing anything complicated. All you're doing is just flipping your wrist a little bit, and then you've selected the other octaves. You flip it a little bit, and so while you're playing, you can choose between a bunch of different styles. You can play the single notes. Or you can play them both. At the same time, so you've got octaves during your whole run. You can play chords on one of them. You can play octaves on both of them at the same time, and I haven't figured out how to do this on just one of the reed plates yet, but I can do it on both of them at the same time, and it's a traditional tongue block octave. But instead of playing two notes in your octave, you're playing four notes that are spread out over 3 octaves. Like that. And you can do your regular, tongue slapping stuff if you're tongue blocking. intended, as chord harmonicas and straight harp harmonicas. You've got that nice rich octave sound just like you've always got with any octave harp, or even with a non-bluesified concerto. You can still do those things, of course. And the Nittlinger style octave harmonica, a lot of the early chord players had these. And Alfiore, his first harmonica was chord harmonica. It was one that he built himself. It was a wheel that had all these octave harmonicas on it, and he would rotate it to get the chords that he wanted. Now when you play a chord, let's say you play a chord with 4 holes, you're sounding 8 notes spread out over 3 octaves, which is very similar to a 48 chord. I mean, that's pretty much, maybe it's not exactly, because I can't remember exactly in my head what it is, but that's very, very close, if not the same, as what actually is in a 48 chord harmonica. I have here on my genuine 100% made in USA Bluesified Concerto shirt a Bluesified Concerto. Now, this is one I keep apart, so there's a missing valve on here that you'll have to ignore, and I'll point it out. But this harmonica is essentially 2 harmonicas. Right up here at top, you've got blow and draw reeds, and this is a regular C harmonica. One blow is C4, just like any normal C diatonic harmonica. On the bottom side is a low C, starts on C3. And there should be a valve here. There should be a valve on the other side as well, right here. And I guess it just fell off, because this is one I keep around just, you know, to have parts to change reeds if needed, whatever. But this construction of these 2 harmonicas together is called a Nittlinger construction. Now, this was invented by the F.R. Hotz company in Nittlingen, Germany, sometime back in the 19th century. And Hotz, when Hohner bought them out in 1930, 1931, somewhere around there, when Hohner bought Hotz out, Hotz at that time, and had been for a while, the world's oldest harmonica company. And Hohner continued to produce harmonicas under the name for, well, until the 80s. When I was a kid, they were still around. The F.R. Hotz, American Ace, and there may have been another one that Hohner made. Now the reeds are embossed, as you can see, and a lot of the stuff I do to get them to respond well in this situation, and to get them to balance together the 2 sides. A lot of that's trade secret, some of it obviously isn't, and the embossing certainly wouldn't be one of them, because you can see it right there. But you can play this top reed plate here just like a regular C harmonica, should you wish. You can also play the 2 reed plates in tandem together, or you can also play runs or chords or whatever here on this low C. So you've got actually 2 harmonicas that you can choose from, and you can play them together at the same time, which is really cool. And this is, we'll play you something now. It's basically the style I had in mind when I first came up with it. Of course, there's so many things you can do besides that, given just the wide number of notes that are available to you as you play, and the unusual combinations of different notes that are available to you while you play. And I certainly haven't really even hit the tip of the iceberg of what's possible in this thing. But this is what I had in mind when I first came up with it. It was to be able to back regular playing up with chords. And also I picked a tune that's got an overblow in it, so you can actually hear the thing overblow. And they are set up to overblow. That doesn't mean they're an overblow harp. It means I've set them up and I've made sure that they will overblow. So they actually overblow fairly easy. I was surprised because a normal harmonica, the reeds are offset. One's on one side, one's down here, and your overblowing is the interaction between those 2 reeds. But the Nittlinger, the 2 reeds are side by side. But actually, it seems like in this same situation that I've got here, if I had that on a regular harmonica, I would think the overblow would be actually a little more difficult. I was actually really surprised at how easy the overblows were.